Greetings and welcome to my channel. I am the Duddy, and my regular viewers may hear a change in my tone because, well, I am speaking in English, something in Hungarian. A rendszeres látogatói a csatornámnak hallhatják, hogy most bizony angolul beszéltem, nem kell megijedni, ez csupán egy teszt. So, speaking in English yet again, this is a test for a potential extension of my channel to a wider audience, which is an English-speaking worldwide thing. So, without any further delay, let's start this review of Transformers Cybertron Voyager class Vector Prime, a true classic of his era and a true hero of the cartoon. Well, there is a significance of him because he was the first Transformer who I ever reviewed on my channel, and I wanted to start my English potential in a similar fashion. So here he is, and to better showcase, here he is in, better yet say, on my turning table. Yes, and as far as you can see, he has a lot of very nice details. Yes, something that his newer release really lacks in my opinion. And well, this one had truly good detailing considering his age, which is not that much, but I always have to remember that it is 2024 when I'm making this video, and well, Cybertron did come out in the 2000s, and yes, that's not now. So yes, without any further delay, let's take him off from the turning table and let's compare him to the channel regulars Lego Man and Lego Technic Dude. Yes, they are my companions in these reviews, and they help me to regulate the size of the given charter, since a Lego figure is a standard and a Lego Technic figure is a good stand-in for any kind of regular action figures. Sometimes when there are a bigger figure, for example Vector Prime is a good example, I take in my trusty Bionicle companion Toa Pannonia, who is a Hungarian Toa, which you might have noticed, but he does not appear regularly because, well, he's a big boy and most figures are smaller to comparing to him. So, taking him and the other guys out, let me bring in my trusty centimeter centipede, who is called Mérő Manó in Hungarian. I dare you to transform it. So, let's check out Vector Prime's height, which is 21.5 centimeter. His width is let's check, 15.5 centimeter, and his depth is around 9 centimeters. I really like to use this guy because well, he gives a clear identification of the figure's height, and I don't really see that much often that anybody would use something like that. So, taking him apart, taking him aside, let's see the accessories of Vector Prime, starting with his sword, his cyber key, his trusty companion, Safeguard. There you go, this little guy, who is also his weapon master guy. Yes, he will also have a small comparison, and let's just put in his sword, and let's take out his sword from his scabbard. And as you can see, my mom did let me have not just one, not just two, but 3 swords for him. And it's a really fun story because I had to gather all of these extra accessories almost by purchasing around 4 of this figure because, well, some of them were missing some parts with the older one's head, and eventually I managed to gather everything together, but it was a long delay. And funny enough, I got a figure that had his cyber key, I got a figure that had safeguard, and I got a figure that somehow had one sword in his scabbard and one in his hand. And I found his missile, boing, in another figure, well, not a figure, but in a pile of other things, in a big bulk of parts. And I found his third sword in a hole of other parts in a friend's house. So it was a really fun experience to gather all of this stuff around. But we are not here only to talk about this stuff, because all of this stuff needs to be inserted to him. But before that, let's put some size comparison to him, and for that I need a figure from my shelves, and for that I will take something close to my hand. That will be Starscream, and well, there is Optimus, but another question. Switch crosshairs. So yes, we have a new version of a Voyager and a regular deluxe. I like to use crosshairs because he is as regular as a figure can get. Sorry for the camera poking, but yes. So as you can see, the scaling has really changed over the years, but in terms of articulation, obviously these two figures are much better than the old guy, but we are not here for that. So let's take them out from the picture and go back to the old guy. So closing on him will help me showcase his head proper. And as you can see, he has a truly majestic head. I really like this blue and silverish color that he has. His head can move around thanks to a step in his transformation that will require that. His shoulder pads can move up and down. His shoulders are ratcheted up and down and around. And thankfully his wings can be adjusted to avoid any kind of diversion in his movement. His elbows can move up and down only such, so no backwards motion like a regular human. And his head can turn at his elbow. Sorry, my English knowledge is I would say very decent, but I sometimes forget everyday sayings because, well, my original language, Hungarian, Magyar, is very different than English, so forgive me for that. So going further on, let's see his movements on his legs, which can move when you move up his skirt, up like that, sideways in a beautiful spread, and backwards only if you take out anything, and you can see that he moves back that much. His knees can move back that much, and also some delicious ratchets. His leg can move around like that, and his ankle can move up and down, but rather only down that much. And I do have to say that considering his age, he is very imposable, and this is one of the reasons why I am not looking that much forward to his, well, how do I say it, as much sugar-coated I want to say, half-ass representation in Legacy. I wanted him to be not just a slight remold of Jiaose's, rather a full one, because I really upset that his knees were very different in that regard. So In terms of accessories, we have his Cybertron key, which is a really unique one because it has all of the different symbols of the different factions from the show, which is a really nice and really nice metallic color. And obviously his clockwork theme can be seen here and inserted to there. His sword can be used in either of his hands and can be stored in back here. And if you have an extra, you can use it to put it in back like so. So you can store all of his free swords there. And let me have just one little short about Safeguard. So taking out Vector Prime for a short time, haha, then we can look at Safeguard in his tiny self. Yes, he is far from his animated appearance, and considering that he is a minicon, not a duo combiner, it is far-fetched to compare him to him. But we compare him to Lego Guy and Lego Buddy, and as we can see, he is truly a tiny little fellow. Taking him out from the picture, let me see that his length is around, let me just check, 8.5 centimeters, width is around 5, and height of his is around, let me just check, 2.5 centimeters. So he is not a big fella, but he is an excellently detailed fella considering his small stature. And yes, his transformation is as easy as one can have. We just extend his legs and fold back his backpack like so. As you have may noticed, one of his arms likes to come off. I did not yet put anything there to avoid this because, well, I haven't encountered this issue because I haven't moved him that much. So yes, but I can say that in this mode he is really lovely, and I like his details. I wouldn't mind a bigger representation of his charter somehow. I don't know how, because, well, he is an accessory as Vector Prime as far as we can go and not a proper somebody. So yeah, it's a shame, but his height is something that changed, so we can check that he is around let's just say 6 centimeters tall in this way, and he is fairly possible considering that what he is. He has a knee and a little bit of leg movement up and down and back. If we fold back his cape, do I say, his arm can move around freely, and he has a ball joint, but as you have may seen, it is not the sturdiest thing, so I won't push it too much. But yes, he is an excellent little thing to have with Vector Prime, who I am speaking which Puck and Puck and Puck, and he is there. So yes, as we can see, Safeguard is a really handy little guy, and he can fit there really easily. So yes, Vector should have originally some lights and sound, but considering his age yet again and the brittle nature of these kind of functions, I never put batteries in my figures after I got them. So this is something that this review will be missing, but I suppose you will live on without hearing some whooshes and flashes from him. So yes, but you cannot live on without seeing his transformation, which I usually perform in a wider scope of view for my and your ease. So let's take in hand Vector Prime and start his transformation. First step first, we just turn his head around like so and fold back his whole, well, do I say cape or front, like so. We have to make sure that we connect these parts to here, and thankfully this is a Cybertron toy, so I am not afraid of breaking him. Despite even his age, I am sure that he will handle everything that I do with him now, but obviously I will be careful because this step involves placing this little slot into this little pin. And do I say this is an easy step, but since it requires me to force a part with another one, I am always cautious with it. So in the next step we will take his how do I say, wings will be the best thing, and fold them out, afterward which we take his legs and simply fold them down. Thankfully his transformation is as easy as one can get, and we have to make sure that these two holes go into these two pegs, like so. And since he is a European / American release, his wings made out of a interesting material, which is a kind of, I suppose, silicone, because it's certainly not rubber, because that would have disintegrated long ago. My copy has a little bit of issue having his leg stay in a regular position, but we can take safeguard, fold out his wings, and simply put him here to complete his look. And I do say that this is the most risky part of him, because, well, you have to really, do I say, force this part out when you want to take him out. But yes, I like to fold it a little bit up to give a little bit of clearance to him. But as you can see, here is Vector Prime in his glorious spaceship mode. And before we give him a spin, let's load him up and let's see him spinning. Yes, and I like to showcase figures like this because sometimes I feel that we are missing a nice whole picture of a figure without any kinds of obstructions. And as far as you can see, he's a fairly decent spaceship, obviously with a lot of leg kibble down there, but do I say, since this is a spaceship, aerodynamics can be screwed. So yes, he's a really nice one. His color scheme really shines in this way. But taking him off from the spinning table, we can put Lego guy and Lego dude next to him and see his true sizes. And yes, I do have to say that he changes a lot in terms of size in his transformation. So he's not some kind of that regular figure that stays around the same size range. He changes truly a lot. And how much? That we can see, centimeters, centipedal, and his length is, in his regular configuration, around this size. Sorry, I am not always good with English numbers. This is one of my weaknesses in my English knowledge. But his wingspan is around 25 centimeters, and his height is around, let me just say, around 9 centimeters. So yes, he's a sizable fellow. And yes, in this mode, his articulation is obviously limited by his stubby little wheels that he has four of them, 4 brown wheels that he can roll on relatively well, considering that this is not a rolling vehicle in any shape or form. But obviously he has his function, which is the rocket firing mechanism. And yes, this would have made some noises if we have loaded him up with the cyber key, but obviously he does not do that. But yes, in this mode, his articulation is limited by his wings, but you can adjust them to have a, do I say, faster looking jet mode, but not that much, perhaps Earth vehicle mode, do I say, but it definitely a little bit of change. But yes, overall, this is all that you need to know about vector prime. I hope that you like this very long video, considering how long a usual English video does. But well, I hope that you like this video. If so, give me a like, give me a comment if you would like to see something like that yet again. And if you like this and would like to see more of this, I would say that subscribe, but this is a Hungarian channel, but subscribe for the Dodi, which will be THE DOD, and that will be my English channel, which will be linked in this very video if it will become a thing. So I hope you like this video and see you in the future. Goodbye.